Now in effect for inland areas here, including the North Shore, not the Washington, northern San Jacinto Parish, though. Mississippi coast, including city of New Orleans here, upper Lafourche, upper Terrebonne, upper parts of there, I should say upper parts of Jefferson Parish. Heading on into St. Charles Parish, St. John, all the way, not quite to Baton Rouge, but it does include Ascension and Livingston parishes. A hurricane watch and tropical storm warning is in effect here. You can kind of see this line dividing the parish between upper and lower Terrebonne, upper and lower Lafourche. That is where we do have the tropical storm warning for the coastal half of those, but the hurricane watches include all of those areas at this time. So that's a little change we do have with this latest update. Hurricane hunters, again, we were flying into it. We talked about this before 10 o'clock. They found winds of 41 miles per hour, hence the upgrade to a tropical storm and becoming the name Barry. They're still flying into it coming out of Keesler Air Force Base. It'll continue to get us more data. All that data goes into those forecast models, and we're waiting for the new update here probably in the next couple hours here from the GFS American model. This one's been the fairly more northern model, a little weaker too, but trying to make a landfall later on Friday into early Saturday morning, so a little bit sooner. But this one also takes a right over top of New Orleans, spreading the heaviest rain more into the Mississippi coastal area. So for those watching in the Mississippi coast, you are not out of the woods with this. If this track continues to work its way farther to the east, you will have to deal with the heavier rain over your area now versus over top of the city of New Orleans. So just something to consider, that some of the models are kind of hinting at that. This is all the way through Saturday night. Heading on into Sunday, it does spread its way up into parts of Alabama, but we will not see as much rain if it goes in that direction, because we then become from the wetter side of the storm to the drier side of the storm. Now, the European model, which will update later today, this one still kind of shows the track kind of working its way here over towards, say, Morgan City, maybe just off to the west of that. Now, the Hurricane Center has been using the European kind of as their basis a little bit here. It's been the most consistent with the placement of everything thus far. So we'll have to see if that trend continues. If it does, that would keep the storm more to the west, which is what the current forecast calls for, and that means that heavier rain will come into New Orleans to the North Shore, back to Baton Rouge through Saturday, heading on into Sunday, and even going on into Sunday night and Monday, as some of those bands will continue to feed right into it from the south. So we are going to see that threat for some heavy rain for maybe a prolonged period of time with that track. Now, is what we're looking at for steering this whole thing. Big ridge of upper level high pressure sitting here over parts of Colorado, the Four Corner states, and the Plain states. It's kind of nosing its way on into part of the Mississippi River Valley. At the same time, this trough of low pressure is coming on in. That's weakening the ridge on that eastern side a little bit. And if it weakens it enough, the system will not be impacted by that high pressure, and the trough will pull it a little bit north sooner. And that's why some of the models are hinting at maybe a track more over our area versus off to the west of us. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on as we go forward here, and a little front to the north kind of blocking some of that drier air coming in. But say the GFS model pans out, look what happens to Mississippi. Your rainfall totals near a foot. We're looking at not near as much here, a couple inches. That would be about it. A lot of heavy rain obviously down there in lower Plaquemines Parish. Now, if we go to the European model, it's flip-flop. We have only about 3 inches in Gulfport, anywhere from 5 to 8 across the area here, and over 20 inches potentially in Baton Rouge. That's a big difference out there, one extreme to the other. So again, this is why we still have to see more of this data coming in, a better feel what the system is doing, and moving forward, what we can expect. We can't expect the heavy rain, so a flash flood watch remains in effect till 7 a.m. on Sunday for that rainfall totals around 7 to 15 or more inches. And then we are looking at storm surge 3 to 6 feet along the coast, lakes around 2 to 4 feet, winds 20 to 50, coast around 60, and yes, tornadoes possible starting later today through tomorrow, since we'll be in that one northeastern quadrant where we typically get those tornadoes. Storm surge warning now in effect there for the coastal areas, just to watch for the inner areas of this, and we are still talking about 3 to 6 feet there, 2 to 4 across the lakes, so we'll continue to monitor that as we go forward here. And of course, we're still looking at the river getting to 20 feet there. That would happen sometime on Saturday morning. Quickly gets there, quickly drops back down. That's that surge. Again, we're protected to 20, and in most cases over 20 feet, which of course is great news for us. You can see Holy Cross levees are over 21 feet and the spillway around 28 to 29 feet. So again, some areas, especially upriver, will be protected from this, which is something we'd love to see. Now the winds will start increasing. You'll see here by 10 o'clock on Thursday along the coastline. That's tonight. And then tomorrow morning, a little bit breezier here throughout the day. Tomorrow, a little stronger winds. We're talking 20 to 30 miles per hour potentially at times with some of those bands, and the winds, of course, will increase going into Saturday morning with that system continuing to work its way on into parts of Louisiana. So today, now's the time to be prepared, know where to go, especially if you have to evacuate or if you have flooding issues out there, and stay aware. Keep it tuned here to Channel 4, of course, our app and on social media to get all the latest information. So by the way, today, though, 90 degrees our high temperature, 60% chance of those scattered storms. Temperatures, of course, dropping, but that's not the important part of the forecast. More so is the wind, and we are going to be dealing with, again, also the threat for some very heavy rain. rain for the weekend and go back to normal as we head into next week.
All right, thank
It's
you.
weird
Dave.
to hear that it'll go back to normal heading into Monday. NOAA did just drop the projected storm surge from 20 feet to 19 feet, so that's great news.
Yeah, every little bit counts, so that's a great thing.
Yeah, it's likely if it's a little weaker storm, maybe the surge may be down a little bit. So anything we can do, hey, we'll take it at
All
this
right,
point. So.
and when do we get our next update?
So we'll get another update here coming up at 1 o'clock,
Okay.
and then a new track update at 4 o'clock, and then another update at 7. So 1, 4, 7, 10. Just remember those times, 1, 4, 7, 10. Those are the updates. The 4 and 10 are your track updates with that one. So they're basically going to wait here to see that what the new model run comes in later this morning into the early afternoon for the American and European, and that'll kind of dictate, I think, what we'll see at 4 o'clock with that track update. Intermediate model updates are kind of, you got to take them as a trend more than an actual what it could be. So that's why I think maybe 4 o'clock you may see more of an eastward shift potentially if those models continue on that track kind of more toward us. So the thing is, if it does come over us, wind is going to be more of an issue, which means more power outages for us, so keep that in mind. So if you have a generator, make sure you have enough gas for it, just keep that in mind. You may or may not need it, but you know, the gas is always good to have for that.
Sure. All right, guys. Well, you can get all of the latest updates on our website at WWL-TV.com and on social media. And we want you guys to make sure that you stay updated through all of those accounts.
Now, we are going to go off the air for just a bit, but we will be back on the air at 11 o'clock for the Orleans Parish Presser as everybody continues to prep for the storms.
All right. We'll see you guys at 11 o'clock.